Now this was an episode. Hey everyone, Templar74 here with another episode of Poke Talk, and today's episode of Poke Talk is going to be my review of the latest episode of Pokemon Horizons, episode 16. And I gotta be honest with you guys, last week, and I still stand by what I said, that the episode really just didn't leave an impression on me. But however, I did say that with this week's episode that could change. I still stand by that. But this episode, while the other one really didn't catch my interest a whole lot and didn't keep me interested a whole lot, this episode was the exact complete opposite. And it's these two episodes together that I think need to be looked at. And when you do that, my opinion about last week's episode kind of shapes a little bit. But before I get into the actual episode and what went on and everything, and then I give my thoughts, I do want to say, and I feel that this is necessary to point out, I was actually surprised when I opened Twitter this morning, or X, or whatever it is Elon's calling it now, and there were some things that came out of Japan. This episode of Journeys was the highest rated episode in Japan thus far, and its ratings also beat even when Pokemon had Ash as the main protagonist, several of them. This is one of the top ranking episodes ever, and it's easy to see why. The character development in this episode was really great. But I'm rambling, and we'll talk about this soon enough, so at risk of further rambling, let's move on to the episode. So the episode is continuing where we left off last week. Liko has gotten her memories back, and Roy, along with Dot, are basically, they're going to help her get her pendant back. These two end up confronting their supposed enemy right now. Well, their enemy, I guess it's not supposed. Their enemy right now. They go to confront them. They get Liko's pendant back ultimately by the end of the day by working together. And Roy and Dot basically tell Liko, you're not alone, and nobody's going to hurt you if we have anything to say about it. And these three have a pretty good fight here as well. A pretty good fight scene. Can't say anything about it with their Pokemon. And this episode ultimately concludes with Liko getting her pendant back and these three continuing on as pretty much confirmed at this point that these are going to be the main trio. But anyway, so that's the episode in a highlight reel. And yeah, so that's brief what the episode is, and now I want to give my thoughts. Like I said, with last week's episode, wasn't really invested. I really thoroughly enjoyed this week's episode. The character development was really good. The scenes were good. The character interactions were really good as well. I really can't say anything bad about this week's episode. There's a reason why it ranks so high, and I think that I'm inclined to agree with Japan that this episode was pretty great, and it even bumped up last week's episode a little bit when you watch them both together. With that said, combined, I give the episodes an 8 out of 10, but if we're looking at just this episode alone, I gotta give it a 9.5 out of 10. This episode was pretty great. There really wasn't anything that could have been done in this episode to boost it any higher, in my opinion. It's just very rarely that I give something a perfect 10. But if I were to consider giving an episode a perfect 10, this would be one of them. This was probably some of the deepest character interaction and development that we've gotten so far, and I'll be honest with you, Pokemon Horizons has done a pretty decent job with character interactions and development so far. It's arguably, and I know this is going to start a war in the comments section, it's arguably the best in terms of Pokemon generations that's actually done that to date. Including all of Ash's series, I think that this one is doing it the best right now. It even kind of tops X and Y so far. But anyway, those are just my thoughts, and as always, I want to hear yours. So in the comments section down below, let me know what your guys' thoughts were about this. What are your thoughts on the character interactions and developments? Just let me know what your thoughts on this entire episode and this two-parter were. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was just there? What are your thoughts? Just let me know in the comments section down below, because as always, I enjoy hearing from you. All right, everyone, as always, Templar74 signing off. Have a great day, everybody. I'll talk to you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.